In this video, I'm going to show you step by step how you can start an online business simply using the help of AI agents. I've come to the realization after uploading a number of these videos that there are a lot of people that may be interested in getting started with AI agents, but they feel stuck. They've heard about how great AI agents are. They have looked into a number of videos, but they don't know where to begin. If you are just looking at it from the outside, coming in, and you don't have any technical experience or technical background, it can be overwhelming and frustrating and annoying talking about all of these or hearing about all of these great opportunities that AI agents can provide and not even knowing the first step. So as someone that launches online businesses and understands and loves and knows the power of AI agents, what I want to do is I want to create a very basic video to help you get started with AI agents, give you the groundwork, the foundation, and even create your first agent that is going to help you get on the path to start an online business. So as you can see there, it says how to start an online business with AI agents, no coding necessary. And that's the beauty of it. We can harness the power of building out software without all of the negative drawbacks of having to build out software. Understand coding and coding languages and programming. We can do all of that good stuff. But you might be wondering, like, why is everyone talking about it? Why is everyone interested? Why should I even be interested in it? And I just wanted to show you this screenshot that I pulled from Google Trends. Over the last 5 years, you can see that the interest in AI agents has grown almost exponentially. So there are a lot of people talking about it. There are a lot of people that are looking up information, but they probably feel stuck. They probably feel that it could be a good opportunity if someone just spoke in plain English, if someone didn't have to have a master's degree in computer science in order to understand this stuff. And that's what this video aims to do. It's to help you go from frustration and overwhelmed to building out your first AI agent that actually does something useful for you. And we're going to do all of that here today. So this is probably going to be a little bit longer video because it's going to be step by step. It's going to help you get up and running. I'm going to help you put all the puzzle pieces together so that you can launch not just your first agent, have confidence that you can launch multiple agents in a relatively short amount of time, and you can start finding success that you're looking for. But the one thing that I realized that everyone, including myself, is talking at a high level about AI agents. Everyone, including myself, assumes that you have this level of knowledge. You know what an API is. You know what an API key is. You're talking about all of this crazy stuff, and a large portion of the world just doesn't have that. So again, we're going to break it down step by step. I'm going to make this very simple and understandable so that we can take advantage of the new opportunity that's out there. Before we get going, I just want to give you a brief overview of what an AI agent is. In general, at its simplest form, an AI agent is an automated process where you give it a task or a very specific set of tasks, and then it executes those tasks. It can learn from its previous executions to make better execution. It's something that works on your behalf to complete a function, to complete a task, to execute as often or infrequently as you need it. At its core, that's what an AI agent is, and that's what it does. An AI agent is created with a workflow, and then inside that workflow, there's a series of steps that can be completed. You can make them as detailed as you want, you can make them as intricate as you want, or you can make it very simplistic and basic. And for your first agent, we're going to make it very simplistic and basic. So here's what we're doing step by step. We are going to create all of our accounts because I haven't really seen a great video on how to do that. Then we are going to talk about our credentials and create those credentials. You need those credentials in order to access the back-end functions of the websites we're going to be using. And then we're going to build out a simple agent, right? And so here are the tools that you need. We're going to use N8N. There's going to be a link in the description. N8N is just a workflow builder, okay? It is just a website that you can go to create different workflows to get these AI agents to do the tasks that you want. There are a bunch of them out there. There's make.com, there's Zapier does it. Don't fall in love with these different websites. Just know that these tools can be used to help you create workflows and agents. And then we're going to use OpenAI. OpenAI is ChatGPT. I'm sure you know what ChatGPT is, but we can use ChatGPT as a way to tell the agents what to do so that it can do these tasks that we require of it. And don't worry, we're going to set all of this up live right now, right here, so that you can have your first agent. So make sure that you follow along, pause the video as often as you need to, so that we can build something together. Let's go ahead and get started. The first thing that we're going to do is we're going to go over to n8n.io. This is the website that I referenced a little bit earlier. As you can see, you're going to use it to create different workflows, and those workflows are going to execute tasks on your behalf. And the great thing with n8n.io is that you can actually get started for free. There's a 7-day free trial. Again, I'll put a link in the description. What we're going to do is we're just going to click on Get Started. And after you click on Get Started, it's going to ask for your basic information, name, email, and then a username and password. So go ahead and do that, pause the video, and then come back to me right when you are able to access your account. All right, so I've gone ahead, I've created an account and just run through this. It doesn't really matter what you select. We just need to get over to the most important part, which are actually creating these workflows. So just select whatever and then move on to the next step. Hopefully very quickly here, we will be able to actually see this. So I'll come right back to you after the workplace starts up, and we'll talk about what we can do and actually move forward in creating our first AI agent using the N8N workflow builder. All right, so you should see Start Automating. You click on Start Automating, and then you're going to get to this website here. Actually, the cool thing is you actually get a 14-day free trial. When I first started, it was just 7 days. So this is the home page. This is the main page. This is the first thing you're going to see when you create an account. What we're going to do is we're going to click on Start from Scratch, and we're just going to talk through this really quick. The first thing that we're going to see is we're going to have the ability to add a first step. The first step is what's called a trigger. It initiates the rest of the workflow. It tells the workflow, okay, it's time for you to get started. It's like your alarm clock. Think of it like an alarm clock. And what we're going to do is we're just going to click on the plus sign. And you can see over here there are different what are called nodes, or things that the workflow can do. What we're going to do is we are going to click on a schedule. So basically what this means is we are going to start a workflow, or this workflow is going to start on a schedule when we want it to start. So for me, I want to start every single day at 6 a.m. As you can see there, the trigger interval is days. Days between is 6 a.m. So it's going to trigger every single day at 6 a.m. or until I get it to stop. If we click on Execute Step, it just lets us know that it worked. Good job. All right, so the next thing that we want to do is we want to map out our first AI agent. And our first AI agent is actually going to be an agent that gives us niche ideas based on things that are trending out in the world. Okay, so if you're starting an online business, you need a niche, an area that you're going to focus on and create content. And to do that, we are going to need an AI agent, and then we're actually going to store these niche ideas in a Google Doc. So if we think about this, we need to create a prompt to have the AI agent, to give the AI agent directions as to what to do. We need a Google Doc to store the ideas. And let's even think about what we want inside of our prompt. Inside the prompt, we want it to give us niche ideas based on trending topics. More specifically, in addition to that, we want the AI agent to tell us the best way to monetize. So for example, affiliate marketing, digital products, or other. Okay, so for our prompt is going to look at things that are trending. It is then going to make recommendations. It's going to make suggestions for niche, and then it's going to tell us how we could potentially monetize it. And then if we wanted to, we could even say, create a list of content ideas based on the previous information. And then it's going to save it all in a Google Doc. That's all we're asking it to do. Now, when you're creating an AI agent, I believe that you should create AI agents that solve a very specific task. I have a coding background, and so I believe in something called modularization. You don't want your AI agent to be doing 15 different things, because let's say it gets 10 steps in and it breaks, it doesn't complete the rest of those tasks. What I believe that you should do in a good programming or AI agent practice is have your agents do one task only, and then once they're done with that task, they can shut down. It also becomes more difficult to figure out where the errors are. If an AI agent isn't working, you've got to spend your entire day figuring out what part of the AI agent failed if you've got it doing 20 different steps. However, if you have it just doing one step and it fails, it's much easier to do what's called debug. It's easier to figure out where the problem came in. But what we're going to do is we are simply going to have one AI agent give us ideas based on trending topics. So if we go back over here into our workflow, what we can do is we can click this plus sign here to add what's called a new node. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to instruct the AI agent to create a brand new Google Doc simply based on the day and the time. And so Innate-N has specific nodes for different popular programming softwares, and Google is one of them. So if I just type in Google Docs, you can see there that I have the ability to create a document. And so I'm just going to click on that. However, we run into an issue. Whenever you are using one of these popular softwares like Google Docs or Dropbox or anything else, you need to connect it via credentials. You need to let both Google Docs and Innate-N know that it's okay to work together. You need to make the connection so that they can shake hands. They don't naturally know about each other. We've got to make the introduction. And the way to do that is we come up here to select credential, and we're going to click on create new credential. Okay. And when we create new credential, it's looking for client ID and secret ID. These IDs are very personal. They're like username and password. You wouldn't give out your username and password to your bank, so don't give out your username and password for your client ID. And what we're actually going to do is we're going to set that up right now. And if I go over here, first thing we need to do is we need to search Google Cloud Console. If you have a Google account, it's included. If you don't have a Google account, you have to create it for free. Okay, as you can see, try Google Cloud with $300 in free credits, 90 days to spend the credit. So what you're going to do once you click on Google Cloud Console, you can see here, click on this and then get started for free. You're going to walk through the steps. And then what we're going to do is we're going to create a new payment profile. I'm obviously going to skip this step because I don't want you to see my payment information. So once you enter in your payment information, you're going to be taken to this page. What we need to do is we need to click on what's called APIs and services. Once inside APIs and services, we are going to we're going to type in Google Doc. And what we're looking for is we're looking for Google Docs API. Okay. What we are connecting and how they shake hands with each other is through what's called an API. We're going to click on enable here so that we let Google Cloud know that we want to use Google Docs with a third party. Okay, so once that's set up, the next thing we need to do is we need to click on credentials. And here we need to create a new credential, because if we look here, we have to use OAuth 2 to make the connection. And to do that, we're going to click on create credentials, and then click on OAuth client ID. So as you can see here, it says to create an OAuth client ID, you must first configure your consent screen. We're going to configure that. Click on get started. We're going to give our app a name. I'm just going to call this test 123. Call yours whatever you'd like. Connect your email and click create. What we're going to use is we're going to use external, and we are going to give it a contact email address and click next. And then we agree. So we're going to click continue, click create. And just like that, we've got that configured. In the top right here, we're going to click on create OAuth client. We're going to select application type as web application. The web client ID is fine. And then if we look here, it asks for an OAuth redirect URL. We're going to click on this. So we're going to copy it. And we are going to come down to where it says authorize redirect URIs. We're going to click on add URI. We're going to paste this in just like that. And we are going to click on create. Now here, we're going to get our client ID and our secret ID. So here, we're going to copy this. And again, don't share this with anyone. I'm going to delete these client IDs and secret IDs as soon as this video is over. but we're just going to copy these and we're going to paste them over. If all goes well, we're going to click on sign in with Google, and we are going to click on this one, continue. Now you probably won't have these additional steps. I'm signed in with a different Google account, and so it's going to look a little bit weird. All right, so you may get an error. So when you're signing in, you may get an error that says N8N hasn't been verified. That's fine. On the lower left-hand side, it's going to say that it's unsafe. It's not unsafe. We are going to continue on. We're going to select all, and then we are going to click on continue. And when we do that, it's going to say connection successful. And the great part about it is now we're able to move forward. We've got Google Docs specifically shaking hands with N8N. Now, if you want to add in more Google things like Google Sheets, Google Drive, all of these other different Google services, you have to do that handshake manually over and over again with each one of these guys. So the good news is we are connected. And to test that we are connected, we can create a document, and we're going to title the document today's date. So what we're going to do now is we're going to create a document based on today's date. And to do that, we've got the Google Doc connected to our schedule trigger. I'm going to double click on that, and then I'm going to drag and drop the date over here. The other things that we want to add is we want to add in the folder that we want the file saved in, because Google Docs are saved inside of Google Drive. And we're just going to select the home folder. And if I click on create test step, it should work. All right. And then we can verify that if we go over to Google Docs or Google Drive. And you can see here we've got this blank page dated May 29th, 10/12/13. So as you can see there. Awesome. So now that we have that, we have our Google document created. The next step is to actually create an N8N agent. And remember, create an AI agent to do the heavy lifting for us. And remember, we want that agent to give us niche ideas based on trending topics, tell us the best way to monetize, whether it's affiliate marketing, digital products, and then create a list of content ideas based on the previous steps. And what we're actually going to do to make our life a little bit easier is we're actually going to use ChatGPT. We're going to use ChatGPT to help us create the prompt, and we're actually going to use ChatGPT as our AI agent. So once again, we're going to click this plus sign, and we're going to click on AI here, and then we can simply click on AI agent. And now we're going to do a few things. We're going to click on this, and we're going to click on define below. So it says source for prompt, user message, define below. And this is where we're going to enter in the prompt to tell it what to do. And to do that, what I like to do is I like to come over to ChatGPT and say, you are an expert in prompt engineering. We are creating a prompt to enter in, we are creating a prompt to help us create an AI agent that gives us niche ideas based on trending topics. Here is what we want for our agent. And then I'm just going to copy and paste this right here, right into there, just like that. So give us niche ideas. I'm going to say give us niche and sub-niche. And sub-niche. And then hit enter, and it's going to give us a pretty good output. Now, while that's working, we're going to come back over here. And if we look, for our AI agent, we need to connect a chat model, and we need to connect a tool. The chat model we're going to connect is ChatGPT, so OpenAI chat model. Now, the biggest benefit of using a workflow, you might be saying to yourself, Alston, why wouldn't I just do this manually with ChatGPT? The biggest benefit is that when you automate a process, you no longer have to spend time doing it. It's going to save you time. Instead of having to go to ChatGPT and then going over to Google Trends and looking at the different trending topics and then putting that into ChatGPT, this AI agent can automate this process and have it delivered to you every morning at 6 a.m. So if we look here, we need to connect an OpenAI account. Okay, and to do that, we're going to click on create credential. And here it's just looking for an API key. And to do that, we can go over to this website, openai.com/API, and create an account. So what I would encourage you to do is type in OpenAI API, click on this first one, and then you're going to click either log in or create an account. Click on API platform, sign up if you don't already have an account. Once you are logged in, you're going to log in like this. And once you log in, your account's going to look something like this. A lot of this isn't necessarily important to us right now. What we're going to do is we're going to click on dashboard. And now that we are inside the dashboard, we can look on the left-hand side. All of this is probably going to be blank for you. You're going to look on the left-hand side and click on API keys, and this is where you're going to create your new API key. Again, don't give this key away. As I mentioned before, the whole purpose of an API key is to help ChatGPT or OpenAI and N8N shake hands and let each other know that they're available to use. So you're going to click on Create New Secret Key up here. You're going to give it a name. And once again, you're not going to share this key with anybody. So I'm just going to say, I'm going to call this delete me like this, create the key, and then you're going to simply copy it. Okay. And what's really important is when you're using these keys, because they're so important, you're not able to just refer back to them time and time again. You can only use them, and you make sure you save them somewhere, because once you click off of this page, it's gone forever. Once it's gone forever, right? So we're going to come back over here, and we're simply just going to paste in the key like this, click save, and you can see it was successfully created, right? So now we can click out of that. We've got our handshake made. They've made the connection. They know that each other are available to use. And from here, we can actually select our ChatGPT model. I'm going to select ChatGPT 4. That's pretty standard. And then click off. And the other cool thing with using an AI agent is that you can give it different tools. And one of the tools that we're going to give it is an RSS feed. An RSS feed basically goes out, and it's a approved web scraper for certain websites, right? And what under tools, I'm going to click the plus sign, and I'm just going to type in RSS. And you can see RSS read tool, and we are simply going to get the RSS feed for Google Trends. So I'm going to go to trends.google.com, click on trending now, and then over here where it says export, I'm going to click on RSS feed, and then I can simply copy this URL like this, or this URL right here. It's the same one, and we are going to paste it inside of our tool here. Okay, great. So we've got our chat model connected. We've got our RSS feed connected. We need to come back in here, and we need to give OpenAI or ChatGPT, our AI agent, directions. And that's where we're going to refer back to our prompt here. And you can see this is the prompt that it gave us. All right, so here you go. You are a trend scout and expert AI agent in trend spotting, niche selection, ideation, and content strategy. Every time I invoke you, you will, and then it gives us the directions. We can always come back and ask, is this the best prompt you can create, right? But we can always just test this to see what happens. The other thing that we want to add on here is we are including the think tool and the RSS feed tool to ensure that we get the best output possible. All right. So now that we have that, we're going to click out of here. And before we test the step, we need to go back into our tools, and we need to add in our think tool. I've been using it a lot recently, and it seems to help. It's not mandatory, it's not required, but it's something that could help you. Now, what we're going to do here is we're simply going to test this step. So we're going to click on test step. And after a few minutes of thinking, it's going to generate an output for us. We can then take this output and put it into a Google Doc, and we can have new ideas delivered to us every single day. If you're just getting started with an online business, one of the most frustrating things is trying to pick a niche, right? What does it say? Okay, so we got an error, which is fine. What you can do if you ever run into an error, just copy the error and put it into ChatGPT and say, what does this error mean? Paste it in. And it's going to quickly summarize what the error is, tells you what the issue is, and tells you how to fix it. So it's telling us that it's actually telling us that this output is probably invalid. So let's go ahead and change the output. Let's say basic English. Let's see what happens there, right? We're going to test the step again, and hopefully we get better output. All right, great. So this is the output. Let's see. It says based on the RSS feed analysis, here are a few major trends that are actionable micro niches, monetization opportunities, and high impact content ideas are also mapped with the micro niches. Okay, cruise travel, luxury cruise tips, tennis. So I think that one of the tennis championships is happening. So really cool. And again, the benefit of this is going to save us time. We no longer have to overthink trying to find the perfect niche, right? People that want to start online business often struggle with finding a niche. They spend days, weeks, months, and in some cases years trying to find the perfect niche. And if you've started an online business or tried to start an online business, you know that there's no such thing as the perfect niche. Any niche is perfect. If you are interested in it, if you can see yourself creating content in it for 6 months, a year, 6 years, then that's the perfect niche. So now that we have this information, the final step is to output this new information in the Google Doc that we just created. So once again, we're going to go to the Google Docs node, and this time we're going to click on Update a Document. And what we can do is we can go get the document ID that was created when we first created our document in step number 2. We're going to drag the ID over to Doc ID, and then down here where it says text, we're simply going to drag the output. So before I click submit, I just want to help illustrate what we're looking at. On the left-hand side are inputs. These are things that we can enter in to our agent or enter into the node to get different output, to manipulate what the node is thinking and the actions that it's going to take. The middle part here are the actions that the node can take. You saw with Google Docs, it can create a document, it can delete a document, and it can update the document. And then on the right-hand side is the output. So we saw here with the AI agent, it can take in maybe the date that we give it. It can take the directions that it must follow, and then it outputs this information, right? So if we look over here on Google Docs, it's taking the date, it's taking in the document ID that we created early on, and it's taking in the output from the AI agent, and it's going to update the document that we created in previous steps. So if we just click on test step, hopefully we get a success, which we did, and then we can go and verify that by looking at our document that we created, our Google Doc. And if we look and we compare this right here, this output is this output. How cool is that? It's formatted so that it's easy to read. It gives us the trends and the micro trends, and it even gives us content ideas, which is exactly what we asked for. Now, let's say, for example, we started doing this and we didn't like the output. We didn't like what we saw. We can always go back over to our AI agent and say, give us something a little bit different. But let me know what you think in the comment section. What do you think? If we look at the trend, cruise travel, so specifically Royal Caribbean trend, the micro niche is luxury cruise tips. And then another micro niche is eco-friendly cruise travel. And then for trends, rising stars, micro niche trend, women's tennis apparel, and then tennis training for beginners. A lot of people, one of the biggest mistakes people make when it comes to starting an online business or trying to make money online is they don't niche down enough. They talk about stuff that is too competitive. So for example, someone that wants to get started with creating content about tennis, they just start talking about tennis, which is too broad. It's too competitive. But if you niche down and you talk about maybe women's tennis apparel, or you provide tennis training tips for beginners, that's a little bit more niche down, a little bit more focused, and it's easier to build a core audience and a core following, right? So look at all of these different cool ideas. It gives us content ideas and business opportunities for each individual niche that we came out with, and then content ideas as well. But the cool part about this is you could let this run for a week. Let this run for 7 days, and it'll give you 70 different content ideas. You can then take those content ideas or take those niche ideas and decide which one's the best for you. This is going to cut down your learning curve in half. This is going to cut down on the time that it takes, the frustration, and maybe even spending money on things that you don't necessarily need. But this is just part 1 in a step-by-step guide on how to use AI agents to build an online business. Now that you have the workflow, you can now go out and experiment. You have the foundational knowledge and skills to go out and experiment. Think about different tasks that are required for building out an online business. After coming up with your niche ideas, you can now come up with ask an AI agent to come up with daily content ideas. You can create an AI agent that goes out to YouTube or TikTok and finds popular topics based on your niche, and then it allows you to see what's working and create your own versions of it. It allows you to come up with digital product ideas. This is going to save you time. This is a skill that's transferable. Maybe you want to help other people build online businesses. You can turn this into an agency where you help beginners with the foundational pieces of starting an online business. Once you learn the foundation, the core of building out an AI agent, this is a skill that you can constantly build upon and learn and manipulate and become more innovative. This allows you the freedom and the flexibility to, as I mentioned, be more innovative, get to a different level, and help see things differently and think about things differently. Make sure, if you haven't done so already, be sure to like, comment, follow, share, subscribe as I walk you through the entire process of building an online business with AI agents. Now, if you want to move faster, if you want even more help, I do have a membership that you can check out. It'll be the third or fourth link in the description to help you get moving quicker. It also features a blueprint of all of the AI agents that I create on my YouTube channel so that you can see how to do that step by step. You can import the blueprint so that you can move even quicker. We have live coaching every other week to help you not just understand AI agents, but understand how to launch a successful online business. So if you're interested in that, definitely check that out. If not, watch this video next so that you can build another agent and make more money.